Gaming Bolt presents 15 things hardcore Metal Gear Solid fans hate about Metal Gear Survive. Konami's Metal Gear Survive is underwhelming. This is hardly a revelation for many of you. Then again, when the game was first announced, you'd think the development team would have done something to make it worth playing. Let's take a look at 15 things that hardcore Metal Gear Solid fans, survival fans, and pretty much everyone else hates about Metal Gear Survive. Hunger and thirst meters. When first starting out, you'll realize that you have hunger and thirst meters. It's just like a survival game. Unfortunately, these tend to drain quickly to the point that it seems like you're hungry or thirsty every few minutes. The worst part? Constantly being notified that you need food or fluids. Constantly. It's somehow worse than No Man's Sky's hazard notifications. Lack of resources. Don't count on finding tons of resources to satisfy that thirst or hunger early in the game either. You have to hunt constantly for food and water, but there's just really not enough of it. In time, you'll create your own water supply and farm for food, but that level of busy work for resources that are so limited is annoying beyond words. Limited sprinting. Fun fact, you have a stamina meter in Metal Gear Survive. Sprinting is dependent entirely on the stamina meter, and it tends to be pretty restrictive. The real kicker is you can't even sprint for long periods of time due to heavy thirst. As mentioned earlier, becoming very thirsty just doesn't take long either, so it's a real task to get any kind of enjoyment out of exploring the world, at least at first. Dust Zone Stamina Woes. So, Metal Gear Survive has these things called dust zones. At first, they seem fairly interesting, and considering how they borked everything else in the game, that's an accomplishment. But you slowly realize something. Your stamina meter drains faster when going through the dust. Even more annoying is how it can drain faster even while crouch walking, the slowest movement in the game. Reused Phantom Pain assets. But hey, the mystery of the dust zones should be cool, right? Well, unfortunately, the dust seems to have only one real function: to mask how much of the map was lifted directly from the Phantom Pain. Asset reuse isn't something that's completely foreign to games, and given how lame Survive's premise is, we wouldn't have expected tons of brand new content. But when it's done so blatantly and lazily, it hits home even harder. Always online. Now granted, I know why Metal Gear Survive is always online. It's because Konami wants to encourage a drop-in, drop-out style of gameplay akin to Destiny, or Tom Clancy's The Division. Here is the problem though. There are next to no social aspects in this game. Would it have been so tough to implement an offline option for those who want to play solo in the campaign? How many games do drop in and drop out gameplay while having an offline option? Is the campaign made significantly better by being always online? Well, no, but you knew that already. Microtransactions for boosters. Konami hasn't exactly been the shining paragon of microtransaction implementation in the industry, as anyone who's played Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, online will tell you. Metal Gear Survive is unfortunately more of the same. Want to level up faster, or make your squads more effective when sending them out for missions? Pony up some cash. Hilariously, the boosters you receive have a time limit, lasting either 1 day with 200 SV coins, which costs $2, or 60 days for 2400 SV coins, which costs, well, actually there's no bundle for that. You'd need to buy the 3500 SV coin bundle, which costs $30. We'd make some kind of joke about pride and accomplishment, but Konami has already done a good enough job. Paying for more character slots. But wait, there's more. Do you, for some reason, want to make a second character in Metal Gear Survive? Why, go create a second character then, for $10. To have a second save slot, and thus another character, you need to pay real money. This is pretty scummy, but then Konami doesn't have the decency to give you more than one save slot to begin with. So if you want to create a new character without paying, then you have to delete your first character and start over. Lackluster stealth mechanics. Remember when Metal Gear Solid was about stealth? Metal Gear Survive is almost the complete antithesis of this. Now, I'm sure there's someone who will tell you that, nuh-uh, sneaking around is a legit strategy, but this isn't even a pale shadow of what the main Metal Gear franchise was capable of. Bland melee combat. You know what Metal Gear Survive is about? Hitting enemies. Lots and lots of hitting enemies. It's not even the fun kind of hacking and slashing. No, in Metal Gear Survive, you ready your spear, aim at an enemy's head, and try to kill them over and over and over again. What's that? Dodging while your weapon is readied? Yeah, that's a skill you have to unlock. I repeat, dodging during combat is a skill that must be unlocked. And no, having other options like a bow and arrow doesn't alleviate how painfully dull the CQC is. Dumb enemies. Yeah, the enemies in this game are zombies. Sort of. But damn are they stupid. Zombies not knowing how to pass through doors. Zombies not able to find other ways to get to you despite there being a ton of space beside the barriers. My personal favorite is standing on an object and stabbing zombies in the head as they're helpless to do anything. A cluttered UI. The user interface. Full of all kinds of noisy details when arranging materials or just navigating the microtransaction shop. The little circular HUD around your character when moving around may seem streamlined, but it's distracting pretty much all the time. A mute protagonist. In some cases, a mute protagonist could work. Metal Gear Survive is not one of those cases, especially when supported by such a bland cast of characters. It also doesn't help that we've gone from the verbose David Hayter to the quiet Kiefer Sutherland and are now fully in sign language territory with our current hero. What was his name again? Bland voice acting. Of course, even for the characters who do speak, the voice acting is just plain boring. If it was bad, there could still be a sense of hilarity, but alas, it's just there in its current state, servicing the plot and treading along. Since when was such a lack of emotion so characteristic in a game with alternate realities, zombies, and survival? Not Metal Gear. We would have said something about this not being worthy of the Metal Gear name, and how Metal Gear Survive would have been better served with a different title. Obviously, there's nothing here that even feels remotely like a Metal Gear title, aside from whatever aspects were neutered from the Phantom Pain. But you know what? Even on its own, Metal Gear Survive is an underwhelming game.
And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from Gaming Bolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.